Hey everybody, welcome back to Whispers of Myth. Today we're diving into a truly fascinating tale. It's the legend of the Sasquatch, a mysterious figure deeply rooted in the stories of North American native tribes. So grab a comfy seat, something to snack on, and let's get into it. So the Sasquatch, also known as Bigfoot, is more than just a creature of cryptozoology. It's a significant part of the folklore of many indigenous tribes across North America, particularly in the Pacific Northwest. So these stories, they've been passed down through generations long before Europeans set foot on the continent. So the word Sasquatch itself actually comes from the Hakumelum language, a language of the First Nations in the Pacific Northwest. That would be British Columbia, Vancouver Island, Washington State, even up to Alaska and maybe even to Oregon. So it roughly translates to wild man or hairy man, but the Sasquatch is known by many names across different tribes. So it's also called Skookum, Rugaru, and Wendigo, to name a few. Each of these names carries a shade of the creature's nature in the lore of the different communities. So now in many of these stories, the Sasquatch isn't just some big scary monster lurking in the woods. No, it's often seen as part of the natural world, much like bears or deer. In some tales, Sasquatch has a special connection to the environment, basically a guardian of the forest, if you will, which reflects the deep respect for nature that's the cornerstone of many native cultures. So just for instance, the Chehalis people, they live near the Chehalis River in British Columbia. I actually used to live there, so I'm very familiar. They have a very interesting take. They see Sasquatch as sort of a spiritual being with the ability to move between the physical and spiritual realms. It's said that seeing a Sasquatch could be an omen or a sign, depending on the context of the sighting. So really heavy in the area around Harrison Lake in British Columbia, near Agassiz, BC, Harrison Hot Springs. That whole area is a real hot spot. But what's really cool about these stories is how they detail the interactions between Sasquatch and human. So unlike the sensationalized versions you might hear in mainstream media, I mean, in many native tales, the Sasquatch is actually shy, it's elusive, and it generally avoids humans. But when Sasquatch, they do appear, it's very meaningful, also very spiritual. It could be a reminder from nature, a warning, or a guide even to lost travelers. Those stories have been told. And then let's talk about the appearance, because in these stories, Sasquatch are often described very tall, covered in long hair, with a scent that's extremely unforgettable. It's supposed to be quite similar to a bear or a grizzly bear, if you've ever been around or in close proximity to a wild grizzly bear. A lot of people describe the scent as like the worst garbage you could ever smell, and I agree. So, but despite its intimidating presence, it's rarely portrayed as a malevolent creature. More like a misunderstood giant who prefers to be left alone in solitude. So these narratives, rich with cultural significance, they also teach lessons. So they might caution against disrespecting nature or highlighting the values of community and coexistence. It's storytelling with a purpose, and that's something that resonates universally. I mean, don't you think? Now, a lot of people might wonder, why are these stories important? And, well, they bridge to an understanding of the worldview of native tribes. So they reflect values, fears, and the philosophical outlook of communities in general. And in today's world, where the lines between myth and reality often blur, thanks to all sorts of online content, returning to these authentic stories really helps ground our understanding of such legends, if they're legends at all. So I guess next time you hear a bump in the night, or you're out camping and you hear the bushes rustle, remember the Sasquatch. Maybe it's just the old guardian of the forest, strolling through his domain, reminding us to respect and protect our natural world. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed diving into the legend of the Sasquatch with me. And if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon. So anyway, thanks for joining me on another episode of Whispers of Myth. Take care, guys.